In golf, you can play a near-perfect round and still lose, not because of your swing, but because of a rule most fans didn't even know existed. Just ask Lexi Thompson. At the 2017 ANA Inspiration, she was leading comfortably until a viewer emailed officials about a minor ball placement error from the day before, and she got a brutal 4-stroke penalty. 2 for incorrect placement and 2 more for signing an inaccurate scorecard. Overnight, what looked like a major victory turned into heartbreak, and the golf world was left stunned by how a rule could punish a player after the fact. Incidents like this show us just how strange and complex golf's rules can be. Knowing these rules isn't only for the pros. Understanding them can actually help you play smarter and avoid the kind of penalties that ruin a good round. Take one of the most misunderstood ones, the temporary, immovable obstruction. That sounds really technical, but it's actually a pretty simple one. These are things like massive sponsor tents, TV towers, scoreboards, or grandstands packed with fans. Structures that show up during tournaments but aren't part of the actual golf course. They're big, they're in the way, and no, you can't just move them. That's why the rules treat them differently from regular course features, and why knowing how to deal with them can save you both strokes and frustration. Now, TIOs are different from other stuff on the course. If something's small and easy to move, like a sign or a bottle, it's called a movable obstruction. If it's something that's always there, like a tree or a building, that's an immovable obstruction. TIOs are kind of in between. They're not permanent, but they're not going anywhere during the round either. So, when do the rules come up? Let's say your ball lands near one of these big things and it's blocking your shot. You can't move the tower, but you also shouldn't be stuck because of something that isn't normally there. So now, the TIO rule helps. It lets you move your ball to a better spot without getting a penalty, as long as you follow the steps. The United States Golf Association, which makes the official golf rules, has a special local rule called Model Local Rule F23 that explains how you get relief from a TIO. If the TIO physically blocks your stance or swing area, or if your ball is touching or inside the TIO, you can take relief. If the TIO is directly between your ball and the hole, blocking your line of sight, you can also get relief. This is called line of sight relief, and it's special because you don't get this kind of relief from permanent, immovable obstructions. To take relief, you find the nearest spot where you can stand and swing without interference, and that spot must be the same distance from the hole as your original ball. You then drop the ball within 1 club length of that spot. If your ball isn't a hazard, like a water hazard, there are some extra rules, but generally, you can still take relief without penalty. A great example of this happened at the 2017 BMW Championship. Sergio Garcia had to deal with grandstands and other temporary setups near the water. These TIOs were blocking his swing and even his view of the target. Because of the rule, he was allowed to move his ball to a better spot without any penalty. TIOs are just one example of how golf tries to be fair when outside things get in the way. But sometimes it's the player who accidentally causes the problem, and that's where another tricky rule comes in. One rule that confuses a lot of people is what happens if your ball moves after you've addressed it. Addressing means when you take your stance and place your club behind the ball, ready to hit. If the ball moves because of you, like if you accidentally nudge it with your club or body, you usually get a 1-stroke penalty. That might sound small, but even little mistakes can matter in big tournaments. At the 2024 US Open, a young player named Neil Shipley found that out the hard way. He accidentally moved his ball by placing his club too close behind it. The penalty didn't ruin his round. He still finished as the low amateur. Now, while most rules try to keep things fair and steady, some are just weird. Usually you're not allowed to hit a ball PGA Championship. After finishing his round, he realized he might have swung and barely touched the ball on the green during a previous hole, something no one noticed at the time. He reported it himself the next day, and the result was disqualification. Golf might be full of weird rules. Players are expected to hold themselves accountable, even when it costs them dearly. So, as you play or watch golf, remember these rules and stories. They'll help you understand the game better and maybe even impress your friends with your golf knowledge. If you like this video, press the bell icon to stay updated on more golf stories and breakdowns. Is there a golf rule you still find confusing or just plain weird? Let me know in the comments below.